There was a conviction recently of a terrorist, Boko Haram. I believe his name is Hussaini Ismail. He was convicted for 20 years by a high court. He was a Boko Haram terrorist. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was convicted, I think, last week, and his own conviction said life sentence. I don't understand why one terrorist is getting 20 years and the other is getting a life sentence if you're saying that. I think Pastor made a good point. There's this idea that justice is served differently. My name is Honorable Mohammed Bello El-Rufai. I represent the excellent people of Kaduna North. I'm from Kaduna State. Mr. Speaker, I'll try and be as quick as possible. It was a long day and I came late because I was unwell. Let's do this quickly. Short term, the President has rolled out a clear plan that we commend. A lot of my colleagues have rightly spoken about this and I agree. But our problem is not announcing plans. It's executing them with clear timelines. This Parliament must insist upon those timelines based on the President's recommendations. One thing I would like to add, Mr. Speaker, in addition to the recruitment, is the need for us to increase immediately the basic salaries and the welfares of police officers and soldiers, and we must find the money to do that. At present, Nigeria, put it this way, one police officer manages 600 Nigerians. The UN recommends that ratio should be 1 to 400. We are understaffed. The President has tackled that. That's one point in terms of the short-term solution. And I think, sir, you leadership and committee chairman like Honorable Jimmy Benson should keep an eye on this execution. We can't just make announcements. Let's say by February we're about to see X, Y, Z. That will help. In the medium term, sir, there was a conviction recently of a terrorist, Boko Haram. I believe his name is Hussaini Ismail. He was convicted for 20 years by a high court. He was a Boko Haram terrorist. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was convicted, I think, last week, and his own conviction said life sentence. I don't understand why one terrorist is getting 20 years and the other is getting a life sentence if you're saying that. I think Pastor made a good point. There's this idea that justice is served differently, and it affects the problem. Mr. Speaker, I'll conclude by saying this. I've been an advocate of state police. I've sought the wisdom of more experienced members like Honorable Sada Soli, Honorable Adodogwa, even yourself and the Speaker. I think the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over again and expecting different results. Somebody said that earlier. We cannot be sitting in Abuja and expecting operations to be efficient in Benue. We have to go back to communal policing. You that are older than us always tell us there was a time when if a guest comes to a community, everybody knows him. We have to get the traditional leaders involved and go back to state policing. This Parliament, under your leadership, and I know the excellent work you're doing in the Constitutional Review Committee, is looking at that. Sir, no time for election talk now. We have to tell the public a timeline to roll this out. The fear that governors will abuse it always shocks me because they already have all that power. I'll finally end by putting myself in trouble as usual. The North has an issue. My honorable sister mentioned why we've become a breeding ground for such things. This is why. We are not sending our children to school. Of late, you have bandits on TikTok holding monies. The younger people, younger than myself, that have no employment and no skill because we've neglected them, is a failure on all our parts over the years. Mr. Speaker, these young people go on TikTok and see a criminal holding minted cash. He's suddenly exciting. You want to emulate him. Mr. Speaker, we can do whatever we want to do in terms of FDI, IGR, investments, but we are failing in our primary duty, which is to protect the people we serve. We must increase the welfare of police officers. Recruitment should not be by allocation, sir. Each state should provide the exact amount of numbers. It should be digitized. We should look for young Nigerians that want to join the army to serve, not because it's a job that's seen as something else. I'm sorry if I spoke too friendly, Mr. Speaker. We are relying on you and the members of the Constitutional Review Committee to not only follow up with the President's excellent announcement, but to finally roll out state police in this country. I hope I made my point, and I really appreciate the session today. And once again, sorry I came late. Thank Thank you so much.
30 seconds more. You still have another 30 seconds.
Oh, I thought I didn't have time, Mr. Speaker. Fine, with the 30 seconds, let me... Sir? What? No, sir. I think the reason why I spoke like that, Mr. Speaker, is the passion is enough. You said something that I appreciated, and Honorable Benson said something earlier, and I was at fault. Shagai and I were joking about something, and then you said this is not a funny matter. It's not. I also would like to implore all of us here. This is not a time for weddings, for events, as you rightly said, for dinners or public. You know, we should show that.
Time up, Honorable Rufai. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. It's a pleasure.
Thank you.
We have seen the children. Where are the kidnappers? We need to know. This crisis demands our urgent attention because children are used as deliberate targets. Schools that are once safe havens have become tragic targets. Heightened vulnerability for our women and children who face kidnapping, violence, exploitation, displacement, and psychological trauma. I represent Koshofe Federal Constituency, and I'm from Lagos State, the Center of Excellence. Mr. Speaker, my heart bleeds as I rise this morning with deep sense of responsibility for all Nigerians and, of course, especially our women and children. I rise not just as a member of this hallowed chamber, but as a mother, a woman, and the chairperson of the House Committee on Women Affairs and Social Development. Yesterday, one of our leaders in his presentation asked, are we going to wait until our children are kidnapped? And I asked myself, the children that were kidnapped are, of course, our children. And we have to see that any Nigerian killed, caused injury, or traumatized is our own because we represent them. The reality we confront today is not a distant episode in our national conversation. It is a deep and bleeding wound in the lives of our children, our families, and our communities. And I term the Papiri and Kamba abductions as a national tragedy. We are facing severe insecurity crises with widespread kidnapping and banditry.
Absolute silence, please.
When people go into communities
please.
To kill them, to traumatize them, this is nothing but terror. Let me be clear, these are not mere security failures. They are breaches of the most fundamental duties of the state, which is the security of lives and properties. And like I have always asked when we have security issues, we need our governors to do more. The president cannot be everywhere. He cannot be in Sokoto, he cannot be in Zamfara, he cannot be in Ogun State. He cannot even be in Lagos State, his own state. We need our governors to do more. And this is the right time for us as a house to legislate on the right legal framework on our state policing. As politicians, we say every politics is local. For me, I may not be a security expert, but I know that every security is local. We need a security situation where our security operatives will be communicado, where Nigerians can call any security operative at any hour of the day, and they are sure to get the right response. And of course, an interactive one at that. When we have that, that is when we have the right policing. In normal climes, you find out that citizens police themselves. When you see something, you say something, you act and you do something. This is the only way we can have the right security network in this country. And I want to commend Mr. President for his empathy as a father and as a leader, his sacrifice in ensuring that the Kebbi girls are brought back. I want to also congratulate the families and the girls that got the escape. But I want to say that the brief relief felt by the families of those that escaped is overshadowed by the agony of those still waiting for a knock on the door, for a phone call, for any sign of hope. We have seen the children. Where are the kidnappers? Nigerians are asking. We have seen the children. Where are the kidnappers? We need to know. This crisis demands our urgent attention because children are used as deliberate targets. Schools that are once safe havens have become tragic targets. Heightened vulnerability for our women and children who face kidnapping, violence, exploitation, displacement, and psychological trauma. Mothers and female educators bear emotional and economic burdens, community disruption, and I must say that this trauma lasts a lifetime sometimes. We have to avoid this. Lifelong psychological harm. Children who escape captivity or witness violence often experience long-time trauma, insomnia, anxiety, nightmare, and withdrawal. I urge this Honorable House to adopt the following gender-sensitive security-focused measures. 1, we should establish a national safe schools protection framework. Mandatory deployment of security teams to high-risk boarding schools. And also reinforce dormitories, night surveillance, panic alert systems. Invest in early warning infrastructure, cameras, sensors, and secure communication links with law enforcement agencies. We should launch a national recovery and reintegration program, a dedicated federal rescue and rehabilitation fund for abducted and recovered children and staff. Access to medical care. We are faced with our soldiers at the front line having issues of medical care. They are not getting the right medical attention in time. This is an emergency that we must rise up to. We must empower and protect women educators, security and emergency response training for teachers, particularly women in high-risk locations. I want to also salute the courage of our soldiers on the field.
Honorable Kafila, please stand
for their sacrifice, their commitment, for laying down their lives for this country. A lot of us have our children wanting to be medical doctors, wanting to be lawyers and all that. These are people who have laid down their lives to sacrifice for this country. We must commend them, salute them. Thank you very much. Nigeria appreciates you. And I think Nigeria as a nation needs to do more for these people in terms of their welfare for them and their families. Now we are looking to recruit more people. How many of our graduates wants to go there? Because the incentives are not enough. The welfare mechanism is not enough. We need to do more in this regard. And as representatives of the people, we must remember that Nigeria belongs to all of us. We must put in our very best to ensure that in our own little space, we secure our various communities because we represent Nigeria. Let's continue to put Nigeria first and ensure that Nigeria gets to our desired destination. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, respected colleagues.
Don't touch terrorists. Don't touch them. They are our children. Don't touch them. In fact, one of them went as far as saying, budget for them. In what country? What the hell is this? Budget for them, as recently happened. So we can't allow this sort of behavior to continue in this country. Government must live up to its responsibility. Go after terrorists, go after kidnappers, go after any kind of violent criminals.
My name is Solomon Bob from Rivers State. First, I would like to commend the wisdom of leadership to have brought this session about since yesterday. This is about the first time in this 10th Assembly I'm seeing such a robust discussion on any issue on this floor. And like I said yesterday, after we closed, I was talking to the Speaker and the Deputy that we should do more of this. What we are doing here today resonates very well with the general public. We've got a lot of commendation from yesterday to today. Now, regarding the issue at hand, I will take it up from where Gary stopped. There is scarcely anything that will be said now that will be new. What has happened in this country?
Honorable Gaza,
What has
your
happened in this
constituents want
country?
to see you contributing, so sit down, your time is coming.
What has happened in this country is an abject lack of courage. Every president since 1999 till today has demonstrated an embarrassing lack of courage to deal with an issue that has festered. We are appeasing terrorists. We are placating them. They are engaged in negotiation. You can't appease your way out of terrorism. Even here in this house, members come here and speak. They deliberately mischaracterize very serious, violent crimes and call them banditry. Yes, two things can be true at the same time. You can have banditry, you cannot have terrorism. Terrorism is the most dangerous of the violent crimes we face in this country today. We have laws dealing with terrorism. We have laws dealing with kidnapping, with various stiff penalties. No one has been taken in. Just yesterday, we were told about, or this morning, our day broke, we were told about the rescue of some schoolgirls who were kidnapped in Kebbi. No one has been taken in for any kind of punishment. I can only surmise that the government negotiated. This is not how to run a country. They will come back. It's like a blackmailer. You pay money, they will come back for more. The government must up its game. You know, we fear to deal with issues in this country. Like Winston Churchill once said, when we face our fears, we gain strength, we gain courage, and we gain confidence in the doing. Yesterday, I listened to you, Mr. Speaker, when you made your presentation, you're talking about, we have weak institutions. Yes. But I will go further than that. We have weak people in those institutions. Merely having institutions and books are not enough. You need to have persons who have courage or conviction to do the right thing. Institutions could be books, could be these physical buildings that house places where action can be taken. But the most fundamental of those, the elements that can make the place work, are the human beings. The human beings are lacking in the will, in the courage, in the conviction. Nothing can happen. So it's about time we did the right thing. What's the right thing? The executive must ensure that, one, there is no iota of negotiation with those engaged in terrorism, kidnapping, and other violent crimes. Secondly, they must stop the policy of appeasement. We hear people come out publicly and say, don't touch terrorists. Don't touch them. They are our children. Don't touch them. In fact, one of them went as far as saying, budget for them. In what country? What the hell is this? Budget for them, as recently happened. So we can't allow this sort of behavior to continue in this country. Government must live up to its responsibility. Go after terrorists, go after kidnappers, go after any kind of violent criminals. What we have in my area, South, it's peculiar to us. We don't have anything near what we are witnessing in North Central, North East, and the rest of them. And Northwest. No. We have.
Okay, your time is up.
All right. Thank you, honorable colleagues. Thank you. Okay.
Thank you very much.
Can I sit down?
Yeah, just 1 minute so they can round up.
All right. Well, so in the South, we don't have anything near what we are seeing in Northwest, Northeast, North Central. But we have our own, peculiar incidents of criminality. These are, of course, no society is entirely, totally crime-free. To that extent, we have, we deal with issues of criminality, but not anywhere near what we are facing. And this
Honorable Judge, get ready.
Is capable of bringing this country down. So that is why we're all concerned. We share your concern. But in expressing your concern, don't mischaracterize. When you see criminality, call it by its name. Yesterday, I was talking about calling a spade a spade. Don't call terrorism banditry. No. So
I
All
want
right.
to thank all of you for this small moment I've got.
Thank you. Thank you. We have succeeded in going through all the regions, the leaders' assembly. It is solemn in the sense that lives have been lost, and it is painful to all of us. How we are all seated here today and handling this issue shows Nigerians how concerned we are. The tone of our voice has reflected that. The calmness of the assembly have reflected that. I'm urging us to sustain that till we finish. And also urge you to sit to listen to others, especially those who sat to listen to you. It is important that Nigerians see that you are in this room. It's important that your constituents see that you are in this room, that there is nothing more important to you than the security of their lives and their properties. So even when you are tempted to go to committee meetings now, please cancel it and sit here. Please off your phone. Cancel it to sit here because it is good for your constituents to see that you are in this room and you are talking about the security of their lives and their properties.